Welcome to a live, special, one-time, we're copying someone else's format edition of the Reddmasq Podcast. My name is Masq. This is my pal Redd.
Hi.
He's driving.
I'm driving.
We are in the Midwest because I've actually taken a road trip all the way from my hometown in upstate New York just to visit my best pal here.
He was telling me about steamed hams. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Something about Utica. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that.
I thought it was an Albany expression.
This is going to be different than our usual format, and just because, we don't have kind of a free-flowing script. We had a heck of a weekend. We had a lot of stuff that we did, we covered. We also went to the Vintage Computer Fest, and made a couple of new friends there, a couple of great discoveries. What do you want to talk about first, Redd?
Well, the first night, you and I, the moment you got in, we just kind of hung out at my place first. Let's talk about that first, what we did the first night.
Sure, yeah. I mean, your place, I literally passed on the way there.
Yeah.
It's just like a little secluded one-bedroom place. I mean, just perfectly fine. I went as well.
It's a two-bedroom place.
Two-bedroom place.
My younger brother stays there. He was supposed to be at my parents' place so that you could have his fucking room, but ADHD got in the way. His girlfriend got in the way. There was just a lot of nonsense happening there. It's fine.
Life happens. Anyway, I get there, I throw the dance pad down, and I think we played DDR Mario maybe the second night or the first?
That was both the first and the second.
Yeah.
But before we did that, we played Kirby
We played Super Clash.
Super Kirby Clash, yeah. And you basically just helped me start, knocking out a lot of the heroic missions that I have left. I have, less than 30 to go before I have 100% of the game.
You're not as in a bind as you thought you were because you actually get the gems that you need when you reach level 100.
Yeah, I found out. For a while, I was like, man, I realized all these later level missions, get to level 85, get to level 87, etc., give you, a ton of rare fragments. And I didn't realize until I checked that when I hit level 100, I'm going to get, twice as many rare frags that I need to complete my upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment I hit level 100, everything's going to be maxed out, and I'm going to be left to just getting the heroic missions on the stupid fucking Pyribbit.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to deal with Frog Boy, which he's famous. He's in a bunch of annoying Kirby speedruns, and just ruins times for everybody. He's the most bottleneck boss in Triple Deluxe and Need a Detour, from what I recall here.
Because he's just always in the background. You're not allowed to hit him. He spends so much time just wasting time because, what is boss design?
I mean, they did not really care. They just have a clock that is ticking down. Even the in-game clock is oh, you have to dodge these lava waves. Just kind of like War from Yoshi's Island. I have no idea what's going on there. Anyway.
And then he drops the box. There's the hitbox. It's just a fucking terrible time.
His patterns are just obnoxious and annoying, and that's a lot of fun.
you had to figure out how to fucking one cycle of it. It's just a pain in the end.
One of those Kirby bosses that shows up and everyone just audibly groans in the room no matter what you're playing.
Yeah. But I got those left, and then after we were done with that, we played DDR Mario Mix, and we played through. I realized I didn't have all the songs because I had to play through the EX story mode. Which is just the same story mode, but you get different songs sometimes.
Right.
And when we did that on normal because I wasn't doing that on hard because I do not trust Bowser.
Right.
The final fucking stage of the story mode is so goddamn hard. The Bowser's Castle song is so hard.
Offbeats, right?
No, it's just
jackhammers.
Well, yeah, there are jackhammers, and that fucking sucks.
It does.
But it's also just so many notes in a very quick succession, it kills me. Because I also found out how out of shape I am. I used to be able to just do a super hard song and be fine with be exhausted from it, because I did cardio, I did super hard. After we beat the story mode, we attempted a super hard song. We did the Dr. Mario song. I got 2/3 of the way through the song. I was oh my god, I can't do this.
Your lungs are giving out. Your body is just giving way.
My legs became jelly.
Go on.
My legs felt like jelly. Shut up. My legs felt like jelly. I was I could feel it in my gut and my chest. Nope, I need to stop now. So I stopped and I just kind of let myself fall on the floor.
Probably for the better. That's the only time I got a win on you overall for score.
No, you didn't. I still got the higher score.
Well, no, second night I'm talking about.
Oh, the second.
The letter grading and the score are completely separate.
Yeah, because I was playing
strange.
a harder difficulty than you. That was why.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, but yeah, I did get one win off on you that way, which is not a.
Sure. But we did do another super hard song on the second night where it was we did Underground Mozart, which is the fucking Mario Bros song, and we both did super hard. And you were struggling with it.
Oh yeah, the super hard stuff is like I need a bar in order to play. I was also explaining to Red like a different game entirely that I used to play a lot at arcades for rhythm games called Pump It Up Prime. You have your basic like up, down, left, right movements with DDR. They're diagonal, and you have a foot and pedal movement with pump. It is a completely differently structured game, and the songs and charting are also differently structured.
Yeah. A lot of DDR Mario mix has some jacks in it, just because I think people don't fully quite understand how much jacks require you to have. Like, it's a lot more strenuous than you would think than like doing a gallop.
And you had to learn about jackhammer motions and stuff.
Yeah, because
you just double tap on like eighth notes and such.
Yeah, like you're tapping the same button like in quick succession, which is just like on a finger. It's already bad enough because the video I learned that from was like a Friday night talking about Friday Night Funkin' and the issues with the early versions of it in mods, and it was like part of the weird charting was just like the jackhammers because with Friday Night Funkin' the reason it happens is twofold. A, people think it's easier because it's just one button. No, it's harder, actually. Two is that like a lot of... The second part with Friday Night Funkin' is a lot of people try to add more notes to their song by having the characters like stutter. So it's like they'll say the same note like multiple times in quick succession. They'll just do that with the notes. It's like that's the problem with that. I think the problem with normal though is that like if people think it's easier because it's just one button, but no,
just not quite the same thing in both design and implementation. Rhythm games in general kind of fall into these categories of just like, oh, this might be just an easy kind of technique to pull off, and then you have people that just design OSU maps and just realize that no, you can't just like scrunch the mouse across the screen for some of this stuff. OSU theory is something that is way out of my realm, but someday I'll get possible to play Elite Beat Agents. On board with that.
That's funny because I attempted to make like my own custom map for OSU. I tried to like take a Mario Tennis song and turn it and make it an OSU map. It was a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I did not finish that, but I tried. I actually understand a little bit about it.
So going in order, Reddmasq go to Waffle House. That was Barton. We don't have Waffle House in like the Northeast, and it's always like a thing where it's like, oh, everyone knows about Waffle House now.
Yeah.
It's a lot fresher than what Tim Hortons says up there. Tim Hortons up there.
Wow.
Or down here because all the local places are better. And from there we kind of jumped into the event for the visit here, the Midwest Indie Classic Computer Fest. And we found a lot of surprising stuff there. Not just all like Commodores, Amiga. We found a lot of just Nintendo consoles.
Oh yeah.
We found a lot of people bringing in like really obscure stuff, like a Satellaview, supposedly. This thing is just like the VSX Satellaview. It has the cartridges and everything, and it's just crazy that like one of these things is like out in the wild.
Yeah, and it was really fun because he talked about how Arkanoid Do It Again was originally a Satellaview release, and it got its own, and then it got a cartridge release worldwide. And apparently, if you fucking god damn it, shut up! If you plug the cartridge in and play Arkanoid Do It Again with the Satellaview, it like loads the other puzzles.
Indeed, yeah. You just also get a little effects chip boost for the sound effects that are in the game because the Satellaview, like the Famicom Disk System before it, has extra sound channels available to it. Or at least that's what I think I was told here. I'm pretty sure that's what he was explaining as well.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, something like that.
But he also had like a Virtual Boy, and I tried to play Tellero Boxer, and I could tell why that game did not take off nearly as much. For the first guy you face off against is he's not Glass Joe. I'll say that much. It's very... And like trying to figure out how to control that game without like the instruction manual is not easy.
No, it is kind of interesting because, like, the controls for the Virtual Boy do kind of represent, like, current VR controllers, where, like, you have a directional input, 2 buttons, and then, like, hand triggers that are a thing. But it's not quite the same. It evolved into something that's much better nowadays. And if you want the Teleroboxer experience, Virtual Boy emulators do it just fine for, like, Quest 2 and stuff.
Do you want to know how you duck in Teleroboxer?
How do you duck in Teleroboxer?
Hit down on both D-pads.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's like, dude, having to do that was like just
strenuous.
It's a lot, and it was rough.
Well, actually, that's not the first time I tried a Virtual Boy. The first time it was in my old Christian fellowship years and years ago. My friends had a Virtual Boy, and he also had Jack Rose on it. The Atlas import game, which is quite interesting. We still need to do an episode on the other Shin Megami Tensei, download game that is a Metroidvania spin-off.
Oh, yeah, that?
Yeah, I mentioned it on episode 1 or 2, I think. That was a long time ago.
That game does exist. I remember seeing someone... I think
I showed you. Maybe?
I have seen somebody play it before, but I don't think I've watched.
I don't remember. Anyway.
You talked to the ears off. You
Still have the robotic arm there, 3D printed. We talked techniques. We also talked PDT-11 architecture and board design for vintage computers, which, no, I mean, I'm a RISC-V developer in a way, so some overlap occurs, but, I don't want to bore the show with, nitty-gritty details. It's kind of dry.
It was fine.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of dry.
I was so happy to see you have your enthusiastic talk.
Yeah, we talked for 20 minutes. That was great.
Oh, yeah. I went around the rooms multiple times looking for anything else I want to do. But it was it was fun. Also, we went to Waffle House because we woke up too late for normal breakfast.
I was talking about Waffle House earlier. Also, we read the fucking manual. All of the fucking manual. In your place.
Oh my god, right.
Yeah.
I took you over to my parents' place.
Yes.
Because they live there, and it's like, alright, I'm gonna go by, pick up my pushover SNES cart, because it's also an Amiga game.
Yeah, I brought my copy of Dragster, and that was something of a talking point over there. But unfortunately, pushover didn't really get as much attention.
Yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. I knew it was a long shot, but I didn't give a shit. I didn't really mind it. I just brought it just in case, and it didn't come in case, so whatever.
Well.
But we did, while we were there, we looked at all of my fucking, because for a lot of our instruction manuals over the years, we put them in this little container, this little Tupperware container, and we went through them.
Yeah, I sorted them all out at the end of it by console. There are manuals we had that aren't scanned online anywhere, mind you, for SNES, N64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, even a Zelda NES manual there.
Sure.
You should probably scan those. I could try to give you some tips for that if you.
Part of the problem is that we've lost somehow the front covers have been torn off
for a bunch of them. Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen.
It's somehow that's the weakest part of the whole damn thing is the front and back. What?
It's unfortunate because on most of the PAL manuals, Nintendo of Europe is actually preserved already for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that Nintendo of America doesn't have that as a priority. I mean, what are you going to do?
No one gives a shit about game preservation. What are you talking about?
I do? Come on!
I'm talking about the companies.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
Rat's ass.
They really could.
Anyways.
We also taught people how to do backwards long jump.
Oh, yeah, we did do that. Before we left, we looked. I was like, what? This guy was was on the N64 setup trying to.
He had 45 stars.
Yeah, he had 45 stars trying to do backwards long jump for the infinite staircase. So I had to. We helped him out there.
Yeah, we did
first we had
coaching.
First, we had to get him through the 50-star door.
Mm-hmm.
Which was you can get through that? It's you sure can. And we did that. It was impressive.
Yeah.
And then we taught him how to do the friggin' backwards long jump through the infinite staircase.
Right. It's great because that's the kind of stuff I used to do at college conventions for just speedrun demos, Pokemon Yellow, save and quit categories and stuff. But he gets through. He's ecstatic. He calls his buddy over, and it's just an event from there.
His buddy comes over, what the heck just happened? It's I did the backwards long jump. But what?
What?
And so he he tried to do it again. We all took turns with it.
Those are just the magical moments in gaming. You just have a magic trick to show off, basically.
I did that at a Disney resort because they had like a small little event for the kids where it was like we're doing Wii Sports bowling power throws. And so I showed off the button
in 1 mile
on the final throw.
This is different than Disney Quest, right?
Yeah, Disney Quest was the arcade that they had.
Gotcha.
Some VR shit. This is like at one of the resorts, like one of the more basic resorts. It's like themed after a certain kind of thing. You go sports.
Gotcha.
Movies. It's just like it just changes the shape of the pool and the decorations.
Right.
Nothing really too extreme about that. It was one of those. And when I hit the button and it set off, I was so happy that I managed to make it work. It's so easy to fuck that up.
And the screen was laggy too. Like the display they had was just a typical LCD.
Well,
it had a measurable amount of input lag.
Yeah, you're talking.
I'm not really a fan of, but
you're talking about the Mario. He's talking about Mario 64 thing.
Should we change the subject?
Yeah, well, I was talking about my Wii Sports bowling.
Oh crap! Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so it was like there was some input lag on the Mario 64 display we played, but for me, when I was at I just remember when I hit the switch and one of the employees came out from underneath the TV and the table they were at to see what the hell just happened, and I was so happy. And then I had a little girl came by who was like also taking part. Was like, was that you who did the buttons? Like, yeah, you cheated. It's like, I sure did.
Speedrunning debate, just like instant.
I sure did cheat.
I love that.
I sure did cheat. You're not wrong.
We're already on our villain arcs, Red.
It was so cute when it happened to. I was like a teenager at that point. Yeah, after we did that, I think we went back home.
Yeah, that was pretty much wrapped it up. I dropped off an old computer there from a project. It was a project that I was not successful on. The computer still needs an OS. I tried flashing it with like a USB device, but it just did not kind of hold.
Yeah.
Someone with experience working on Windows 98 and XP bootloaders could definitely get it working. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not my area of expertise. I've got one XP machine already. Thank you very much. That's enough for me. That's enough of the clown makeup passed for me.
Yeah.
That's what people called Windows XP. They had like clown makeup on it. Anyway.
Oh my god. Anyways, then we went to Pizza King.
Oh my god, we're doing the pizza comparison here.
Okay, well,
straight for 13 minutes to east.
The Arnis versus Pizza King.
Well, we can talk about that later when we get back to Arnis. Okay. But like we did Pizza King first because there was like a pretty nearby one where I live, and we went there.
Mm-hmm.
And you were impressed by the train theme. You liked the little model train.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Very
convenient. It brings out drinks, and it's just well set up.
And we got you with your change from paying for it. You got a quarter that you put into the slot, and we watched the end of Dora the Explorer movie.
CG swiper and everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the PlayStation 1 controllers that would be bolted to the end of the table weren't there. Because
they're gone. They've been gone
they've been gone for years.
Been gone for fucking decade at this point. That shit was old. That was like they just stopped doing that at some point. I was like, yeah, understandable. I did play that weird 32, 64-bit Centipede game for N64/PlayStation at one of those.
Yeah.
I played Tomba.
I played Missile Command.
I played. Oh yeah. Well, you got to play Missile Command at the fucking convention. But I'm talking about like the Pizza King.
Yeah.
Played Tomba back in the day. Other than that, the pizza was straightforward. And that was all we could really get through.
I would say it's Midwest style and everything is chopped. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah. So we went back to my place.
Mm-hmm.
And we did board games.
Yeah, and I'm surprised because you brought the best one. The ones that I showed you were absolute, like, poorly designed. And in retrospect, I guess I was just nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
Like, Mario Party E, Card E, is a rare board game. And it's just got some terrible e-reader games included.
Yeah, the first three you played were luck-based.
It's literally just roulette wheels with Lakitu and Bowser, too.
And you can mash
the same thing.
And you can mash to make sure that you get what you want, too.
Pretty much.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's like two versions of Chicken. There's like the Waluigi one. The coin minigame, I think, was the best. The Waluigi had the best minigames.
Yeah. The shaking one was poorly designed because if player one just falls off, player two just wins by default.
Yep.
Cool. That's not how that works. You're supposed to... I guess the idea is that you're supposed to not show the game to them. so that they don't know how well you did.
We put it up on a big screen with the capture card.
Because that seemed more fun.
Yep.
God.
And whereas Balloon was the same thing. And then the Daisy minigame, you just mash.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, the Daisy minigame doesn't punish you for fucking missed inputs. You can just mash them. You can just piano keys it and win.
oh my god, it's like the Friday Night Funkin' issue there, except in just such a small scale where it doesn't even freaking matter.
Yeah, I can't believe that they couldn't even get that one right.
Oh my gosh.
But then we played Donkey Kong Jenga, and that was, like, close to a game. The problem was that when they were cutting out, making the pieces, the tolerances weren't good enough. So, like, you have, like, these little pieces that go into the various girder pegs.
Each of the Jenga pegs.
Yeah.
It's a game of Jenga, by the way.
It's a game of jets, Donkey Kong Jenga. It's the Jenga pieces are the girders, and you have 4 Mario Jumpman pieces that you can put into them. There's like little holes in that you can put them into.
There are pegs that you stick into the girders. Yeah.
And the problem is that sometimes those pegs don't fit in those goddamn girders. Like, the most important part is making sure that shit can get in there.
It's just not fit.
And it just didn't fit.
Fit.
And it wound up costing you the game, actually, because you caused the thing to fall over, and that means I won.
You know what my favorite part of the game was, though?
What?
The spinner. Not because it worked, because it worked really well. The fact that there was a space where you just take no pegs, do nothing, go.
Yeah, literally. It's like, you don't do anything this turn. It's like go to jail in Monopoly when, like, at the very end of the game, you don't want to be doing anything.
I'd say both of the games that we played there would be fun with 4 players, but equally flawed no matter what you do.
Yeah, my issue with Donkey Kong Jenga was that the tolerances were not... Like, there was a physical engineering issue. That was my issue.
Right. Yes.
Which is hilarious, because I barely touched physical, like, stuff like that in my life.
Exactly.
But, and then we played my Pokemon Monopoly, Gen 1 Pokemon Monopoly.
Yeah.
And they have one set of special rules, which is just like, if you roll doubles, you get to move and then choose between rolling again or doing a special effect. And that was like a great way for us. It happened a lot in early game.
It sped up the game quite a bit. Yeah, I was shocked that was the winner because it's Monopoly. You expect it to be the most slog of a game, and everyone's got their own house rules with Monopoly.
I'm not surprised because you got a cheap Monopoly from me by virtue of rolling double sixes and stealing my property. You did that. You got double sixes twice and stole both my properties that I had. It was just like. And then you won because you had a cheap Monopoly with cheap Pokemarts and Poke Centers.
Which have their colors reversed.
Oh, yeah.
Included.
You build 4 the Poke Centers are your houses, and the Pokemarts are your hotels. And the Poke Centers are blue, and the Pokemarts are red. Man, imagine getting fucking bodied by Generation 3 in that regard. Like, of all things to get bodied by. It's like the department store, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's more like
approaching a railroad crossing.
Oh, are we? Are we approaching a railroad crossing? That's great.
Now a train spotting podcast with your host, Masq and Redd.
But you won because the space that you got was only $50 per center.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very easy to get Pokemarts on everything.
You dodged my properties
so many
times. Or more.
And then I landed on it twice, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
That's how you win, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I lost $1,100 on that, and it's like, game over. I didn't have enough money to build a hotel. Like, I couldn't build anything because the shit I had, the Monopoly I had was like $150 per, and it's like, I can't afford that.
Nope.
And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like that's like, I need to look at how Monopoly cards are balanced with that, because I don't know if that's how they kept it.
Maybe.
Where like they have like different costs based on what the monopoly is, but like 50 per hotel is just 50 per house seems really low, and it was just like I didn't have a chance to build a monopoly because you stole the monopoly that I was going to win.
I tried to actually buy some from you, but it was just like shut down immediately.
Because I saw what was happening. I was like,
no, just deny that instantly.
No reason to.
I didn't even have to build on. I just built on Misty's gym. All the areas are themed after gym leaders.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon Monopoly.
So Brock is your first, Misty's your second, and then all the way to Giovanni is the last one with Nido King and Nido Queen being Boardwalk and Park Place respectively.
Pretty much, yeah.
And and Gary Oak is your income tax for $200, and Team Rocket Strikes is your luxury tax.
You landed on there so many times, I think they just got rich for once.
Yeah, but like oftentimes we would like roll twos and just take because if you roll double twos, you get to rest.
Yeah.
And get $200 like you passed go.
Mm-hmm.
Double ones happened a couple times where you could teleport to wherever you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then double threes was like steal 50 from each player.
We got 2 railroads each, and we just kept trading railroad.
Yeah, we kept passing the same $50 between each other, like we're Uber drivers. It was pretty trash.
Speaking of driving, though, I want to do a time skip on this one to what we did the day after, because I want to make a segment out of this. Multiplayer Mario Kart, co-op, not versus, co-op.
Double Dash.
Well, yeah, we did.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did Double Dash at home.
But we also did Mario Kart GP at an arcade that was nearby, and they have a co-op mode in that too.
And it's fucking
strange because it's not Mario Kart, but Redd, go ahead.
What is the name? It's the one
Crash Team Racing.
Well, it's like one of the. It's like Crash Tag Team Racing. It's the one where you could smash into each other in co-op.
Yeah.
And like that was flawed because you were all all for each other, and then like you could just run into each other in co-op immediately. Like it was like, and then you just could split off and win from there. Like it was like doesn't make any damn sense. Mm-hmm. This one is just teams. You get an item that puts you into that mode. The person who activates it gets the cannon, and the person who doesn't gets the drive.
And they just mow down bots.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing actually, and I like that they had like a drift meter.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got level 1 drift, level 2 drift, level 3 drift, max boost. Yeah.
Featuring the Taito drum from Taito Drum.
Oh my god, yeah, because the version of GP they had was DX,
mm-hmm.
and it was I've never seen this one before. Like I was not prepared for co-op. I was not prepared for the fact that the Taito drum is there. They have Waluigi, but there's no Mamichi from GP2.
Unfortunately, no Tamagotchi then.
No Tamagotchi.
There's still a lot of Namco DNA in this though.
Yeah, but it was really funny. But like we did all of 50cc. For
Double Dash,
because first we did like 50cc Mushroom Cup. I was like, hold on,
mm-hmm.
What do I do? What do I have to do to unlock Special Cup? It's 100cc Star Cup. Mm-hmm. And then I went back to 50cc and got all that done. We did Special Cup on that. Got the best light vehicle, the Bullet Bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's got because all the light vehicles are just like, oh, you got 5 stars in acceleration, 1 star top speed, and then you get the Bullet Bill. And it's like 4 top speed, 2 acceleration. Like there you go.
That's easily the best card, one of the best cards for drifting, snaking, and advanced techniques. Double Dash.
I have to say something really annoying about the GP game.
Sure, yeah.
All your shit's randomized at the start of the race.
Yeah, you don't get a choice. It is very arcadey.
You get 3 items that are randomized. 1 for forward, 1 for backward, one for utility.
Yeah, the fusion mode is nuts. Very good, but also regular Double Dash. You have to assist your partner by helping them sink.
Yeah. So the way Double Dash co-op works is the back player is in charge of items. Obviously, they can use L and R to try and juke an enemy or whatever, tackle attack.
Mm-hmm.
But what the back player also has to do, shut up, Waze. The back player also has to activate the drift. The back player is the one who gets the drift boost. They have to hit left and right as the front player is drifting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually pretty easy to snake with that then. It's actually really cool. And you can both get the boost at the start to get a mega boost. You get blue fire. It's really cool.
Guess what works in that game? Palm spinning.
Oh yeah.
The last Mario game where that actually works.
Yeah. Fucking A.
You've arrived. Destination is on your left.
Yeah, I've arrived all right. I've come. The time has come, and so have I.
Amazing. This episode is brought to you by us. We work hard in making an exciting show each week, chaos included. Check out the links in the show notes for ways to help support the show. This includes our coffee page, which you can find at ko-fi.com/mask31.
All right. We're back. We're actually back. Okay, things were weird because I activated Audacity or some shit.
Yeah, it's not like I literally drove another 600 miles home.
Yeah.
Which actually happened. But anyway.
Jesus Christ. There was something I wanted to talk about too. What the fuck was it? It was
Fuck Pyribbit? Fuck Pyribbit.
Oh yeah, fuck Pyribbit. Because we learned as we tried to get the fucking final mission done is that it is RNG. Whether or not you can...
Purely RNG. Doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, it does, because you have to have max stats and use items in order to boost your stats to ridiculous heights.
I won using 5 strength pots on a max hammer lord,
which is incredible damage.
And it still took multiple tries because it's RNG. What the RNG comes in the second phase. Because in the first phase, he's like set. He's set into what he does, so you can easily fuck with him there. But in second phase, it's set up until a point where he go. So starting in second phase, he jumps in the background and sends 2 waves of lava at you, so you have to dodge those. That's always guaranteed. Then he jumps around in the background and starts firing a random amount of fireballs at you. That can be anywhere from like 1 to 8 or something. And the longer he takes, that's just raw time loss you can't do anything about. And then once he finishes with the fireballs and he jumps back into the foreground to take damage, he has a chance. He has like that's 50-50 chance to do one of 2 moves. One of the moves keeps him in the foreground for you to damage. The other move makes him jump into the background again and waste your time. If he does that, your run is over and you need to restart.
There are also like minor time losses that come from the amount of fire enemies that spawn, and major time losses from the amount of rock spit.
Oh yeah, the rock spit. That's what I was talking about with the fireballs.
Yeah.
It is just the worst designed I've ever seen. The fact that it is all raw RNG is garbage.
I told you Pyribbit wasn't famous in the speedrunning circle.
Well, it's like, I can understand why he's like a time loss and why he sucks because he's in the background. I wasn't expecting him to be RNG shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting getting this mission done requiring good RNG, which you're not going to get good RNG like 60% of the time. This is stupid.
Pretty
much. It's absurd. And like the final mission that I did find, because I did finally get all 900 heroic missions done. I have 100%ed Super Kirby Clash. I feel good. But the last mission I had, you have to beat the title of it's like Super Plus Parallel Nightmares Revenge. And the recommended level is like 85. And the mission I had to do last was get a platinum medal using Mark's gear as a time mage, which that's hard, but it's actually like all precision and like memorization, because the thing about Parallel Nightmare is that in his pattern means he's out of range for a time being like shot. He's always like just out of range for you to hit him with your charge attack. So you have to like figure out when it's a good time to like start hitting him with regular attacks or when to charge and time your strikes so that you actually hit him when he's vulnerable and can freeze time, which is very useful. But yeah, it's a little absurd, but it's doable and entirely like feels all skill, no bullshit RNG. Because his pattern is set in stone. He is always doing the same things in a row as long as you remember. But that was a much different experience than Pyribbit EX, where I was just watching run after run fail because the RNG was just like, nope, he's going in the background. You failed.
This is just the kind of thing you grind out and just like hate yourself for afterwards, because it takes not like tens of minutes, it takes hours to get the right run, to get the right set of circumstances, and to get the right teammates online.
Well, it's not even just hours. Like, I think it took me like 40 minutes maybe to finally finish him out.
Kind of close.
It was like my eventual thing was I just went offline, stacked 5 strength pots, and hit him with the hammer. And that still took like 2
allies required. Yeah.
Yeah, and that still took like 2 or 3 tries.
I got bored while we were listening, and I looked up a bunch of ROM hacks.
Oh yeah.
Check out Pokemon Yellow Cramorant Edition. It replaces Pikachu with Cramorant. I can assume that the bird ate Pikachu, just like Cramorant does in the games.
That does happen.
Yeah. And that's like pretty much the mod. It adds 2 other Pokemon, and it's just like a silly mod. I love all the aesthetic behind this.
The whole reason why you even went on this little tangent of looking up ROM hacks is because I brought up Mega Man CX.
Yeah.
All right, we need to keep talking about our stupid goddamn trip. we need to keep going because we ran out the live timer.
Yeah, we did. Why though?
Because because we still haven't talked about everything. We haven't talked about Arnis.
The fact that Axl Rose ate there at one point.
We haven't talked about our entire trip to Lafayette. And on the way,
that was just bowling, and you kicking my ass at bowling, pretty much.
okay, well, no, Arnie's is in Lafayette. Let me fucking handle this one. Out of my way.
Okay. I don't know what Lafayette is, and I don't want you to dox yourself.
It's the goddamn town where Arnie's is in Indiana.
I also don't want you to dox yourself. I
live in Indiana.
Okay.
Lafayette is a town in Indiana, and that's where the first Arnie's is. I can't consider that doxing myself because that's like very specifically, we drove to Lafayette to eat at the first Arnie's. That's not really.
The pizza was good, but it wasn't a New York style pizza, so I can't.
No shit.
This is why we can't be friends. Why can't we be friends?
Pizza and chili, the two food types that I have negative interest in arguing about anybody with. Yeah. I'm going to Steak and Shake to get Cincinnati style chili. I'm going to get my chili on some spaghetti, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to enjoy it. You can fight amongst yourselves about how that's not chili. I'm busy eating my food.
Chili and hash browns. Anyway.
We went to Arnie's. Got you the basic shit where it was...
we got the salad. We got the garlic bread. Garlic bread.
Yeah, the salad. I got an appetizer, which is the garlic bread with cheese on it, and then pizza. And to compare it directly with our Pizza King experience, we got the same kind of pizza, which is the deluxe. What did you notice about the differences in the pizza between King and Arnie's?
More chopped.
How was the flavor?
I mean, it was just they both had a sweet tomato sauce. What am I, Gordon Ramsay here?
I don't know. Fucking, I noticed that it was I now that I finally got my side by side comparison in a short period of time, I was like, oh yeah, Arnie's does have more flavor to it. It's like more flavorful than Pizza King's.
You could definitely have that experience because the toppings are just more plentiful on Arnie's, yeah. And you eat out there more often. I literally was just touristing it up.
Oh yeah, we got a whole ass tour because of you.
Yeah.
But Arnie's, it's very obvious when you go to Arnie's that they spawned from a Pizza King franchise because it's the same style of pizza. And then you went, and then hell, to continue on the pizza thing, you continued on your journey and got to have another pizza of that similar style.
Oh yeah, I went to St. Louis. I had a pizza. It was pretty good. It wasn't as chopped. It was still thin.
Yeah, you showed me that it's same kind of crust, but I saw the ingredients. And it's those are whole ingredients. Because with Pizza King and Arnie's, they kind of mince it a lot, so it's more crumbly.
Pretty much.
And they use that kind of style with the salad as well. Because their classic salad is it's got turkey and ham and cheese in it, and those are all in minced chunks. Very good. It's they like to advertise that they have salads for everybody. And it's a salad can be for anybody if you add stuff that would not go on a normal salad.
This episode is brought to you by Carl's Jr. and Arnie's. If
you add meat to a salad, you have salads for everybody. Because you've taken the problem that most people have with salads out. Damn it. Very funny to me. And then on the route.
Oh, the Rabbids game. We got to mention that. The weird Ubisoft Rabbids game that's in VR and not a thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because we went to Malibu Jack's, which is a discount Dave and Buster's basically.
It is a ride. This is not a game. It is a amusement park style ride in VR.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Neither of us played it because you couldn't actually pay me to play a Rabbids game. Unless it's Kingdom Battles, which is actually an incredible plot. For a surprisingly deep Mario RPG.
Yeah, or the first Rabbids game. That's, I think, before they, that was back when the idea was still novel.
Right.
And they had not eclipsed the Rayman franchise yet. We played Mario Kart GP Plus, or whatever the hell it is, where it's we did 2 races on that both times. We did co-op, where the co-op is
The problem with the item select, though, is the fact that you can't pick your items.
It's all random. You get 3 items randomly picked. You get a random cart. Which for the second round we did, it was I can't believe I got one that had a 2-star top speed. They basically got the mechanic from tag team racing. That's the one where you're allowed to wreck into other people and like combine carts temporarily with anybody, and because you were doing it with whoever the hell you wanted to, and you could use that to like bullshit your way to a win. It was not very well thought out, but with this Mario Kart arcade game, they did at least put a little bit of thought into it. It's only when you're doing co-op racing, and once whoever gets the item, you use it. You get a the person who uses it is the cannon shooter. Whoever it did not use it gets to be the driver. And it's very much just Crash tag team racing.
You're mowing down the other racers pretty much, and it is like completely one-sided. They did not try with balance in this game. It is not a well-balanced kart racer, but it is an arcade game and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You mentioned Crash Tag Team, though, and that reminds me of one particular thing that game had. An interesting overworld where you unlock death.
Oh, yeah, the dioramas. The dioramas. Before you even brought it up, it was like, yeah, the game where you have the death scenes as things you unlock. It's just
a strange and interesting idea for sure.
Yes, it's just look at Crash die in funny ways. That's all it is. Yeah, it's funny because that's something that the original series was all about, was just entertainingly dying in entertaining ways because you're a cartoon character.
I mean, yeah, so he's very animated.
We'll make that one of our unlockables. Hell yeah. Sure, it works. But like they don't actually kill you. They're just cutscenes.
They're just there for entertainment. It's a hub world thing.
It's a cutscene finder. Yeah, it just the cutscene involves Crash dying multiple times.
Yep.
But yeah. So what else did? Yeah. Then we did bowling at Malibu Jack's.
We got close, but like you still pulled out ahead half the time.
Yeah.
You had your fancy 3 balls and fancy shoes and fancy bag and fancy schmancy arcade stick.
Yeah, I brought my arcade stick to the funk. Nah, it was. I was so out of practice, and I was feeling it for several days afterwards. Because like I bowl with 15-pound balls, and that's very heavy when you haven't gotten used to it. when you've been out of practice for so long, you feel it in your arm, you feel it in your fingers. It's absurd. Yeah. But like to rank how I thought about Malibu Jack's, it was 3 out of 10. Not very good, but it was fun for what we had while we were there. Because the way their lanes worked, they did not have like lights on. They don't have any lights in the alley, actually. Right. Like the alley portion, there's no lights. It's all like meant to be Cosmic Bowl with TVs. The Cosmic Bowling is very bare bones as well. Like there's not many neon lights. It's very like just, oh look, we have like a couple LEDs blipping on and off, and that's it.
I mean, it's pretty much like your typical bowling fair. You're not going to find anything entertaining at like an AMF. Like that's pretty much it. I mean, the tablet and everything was kind of nice, honestly.
Oh yeah, getting to choose what animations we wanted was neat, because I got to see like, oh
yeah,
there's the Saturday cartoon that Brunswick tried to push for Saturday Morning Youth League. I remember that and being confused by it. that was a thing that existed. Do you think we should watch an episode of that? That sounds awful.
That sounds
hilarious.
Like bonus video content.
But I need to actually talk about the lanes though, because like there's no lighting on the lane parts themselves, so it's like all the light was coming from like the sun and the doors behind us and the lights in the other parts of Malibu Jack's. It was very just weird. Also, a lot of the lights were like the TVs in the background that were just playing all the various sports on ESPN and shit.
Sports ball, like, hit the ball, do the thing, touchdown.
So it was like all these like secondary light sources, and it felt really weird. But that's not everything. Because as somebody who has taken bowling seriously, that shit lacked something very important.
Oil on the lanes.
Well, the oil on the lanes was confusing as hell, because like that shit would. I think they oil that thing once per day, and then they just let it rock. And it's like I was throwing my ball, and no matter where I threw it, it hooked the same. It was just figuring out that lane was impossible, and I could not adjust with how badly out of practice I was. You know what every bowling alley has to help you aim?
Arrows.
Arrows. Guess what those lanes didn't have?
Arrows.
They did not have arrows. I could not aim. My ability to aim on those lanes was not there. I could not figure out what the hell I was hitting. I couldn't figure it out. It was bad. But yeah, so like with everything combined, I was just like, this is such a surreal kind of like I've never seen a bowling alley this, like typically when you go to a bowling alley that's low quality, it's still like about the bowling. You've still got lanes that are functional and work right. Also, these lanes had the string pins, which was mostly fine. There was one problem though with the head pin on our setup.
Oh yeah, the whole fact that they had like the string pins that were setting up, they don't actually have the machine anymore.
Yeah, well, what it was for every pin except the head pin, they worked perfectly fine. They were in position where they needed to be. Guess what the head pin wasn't? It was loose. It was obviously broken, and it was constant. Every single time it reset the pins, that head pin was in a different spot. It was moving to the left and the right because
For people new on bowling theory, we're going to get a crash course from the Reddmasq Podcast on bowling theory here. Amazing. The head pin is very important because it actually steers the rest of your ball into the remaining pins behind it.
The head pin is how you get strikes.
Basically.
Hitting the head, what it's called in what the term is if you got to hit it in the pocket, which is like, but it's the head. It's
1 and
where
3
your ball,
or 1 and 2, depending if you're left-handed bowler. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're left or right-handed bowler, it's either 1 and 3. Put pins 1 and 3 or 1 and 2, and the 1 is the head pin.
Yep.
So the front 2 pins, you need to hit somewhere in that spot to properly disperse the force to knock everything down for a strike.
Use the force.
So imagine that the key part in that, the fucking head pin, would be out of position 8 times out of 10.
We're in the future, and the future is pins on a string, and it's looking kind of shabby.
So, well, to be fair, this lane, this Malibu Jacks, like multi, like they had mini golf, they had like indoor rides, like it was like a fucking carnival. I'm not surprised that they're
amusement park. Yeah,
I'm
loud as hell.
They literally called themselves an indoor amusement park,
yeah.
But I need to explain. Like, I'm not surprised that those lanes were hot shit because it's like I'm looking around at what they do, and it's just like this is discount, Dave and Buster's. The bowling is merely a thing you do here. It's not important. So it's like, it's obvious. Like, I'm not surprised that it was a trash experience in terms of like actually bowling. I had fun. I was hanging out with you. I laughed.
Right. Yeah.
And I managed to average at least 100, even though I'm severely out of practice and my high game is still a 267. It's just like, I just need to talk about those lanes because it was not good. Because even, like I said, like even when you go to a bad bowling alley, it's still about the fucking bowling. They still have the basics down. This place didn't have the basics because the bowling is just an activity that happens there.
To put a final cap on this whole thing with the bowling, I think I can mention my double split, and that'll be that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really interesting.
That was like impossible.
Oh my god, I remember. Hang on, let me get I remember what it was. Hang on.
It was so bad, and it could only happen with this newfangled string bowling.
Yeah. It was a split that involved the pins 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10. Which is just, that's not how that happens. That's not possible. That's impossible. You had to somehow hit the 8 and 9 pins in the back without messing up the 4, 5, and 6. That's not how that happens.
BLJ bowling ball.
What the fuck? No.
Yes.
Incorrect. Objectively incorrect. I can understand why pro bowling is not too keen on the string pins.
Yeah, there's a big controversy around it, and it's totally fair.
I understand both sides immediately.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about how much machinery is needed to make the bowling alleys work in the first place. Like, yeah, that would cost a lot of money. The strings would definitely save a lot. And then it's like, I look at the physics of the strings and think about it. It's like, yeah, that would also be really bad for pro bowling. It's just like, I immediately see the issue. I understand both sides immediately. And I'm just like, damn, I've never I've never one and done an issue like that in my life. Just boom, I get it. I understand. And then I just left.
Impossible.
All right. Let's get off the goddamn lanes for a second. Okay, because I need to the last thing.
The lanes here.
Yeah. The last thing we did in Lafayette was I tried to go to the original frozen custard place there, but they closed like at 6.
Yeah.
So we had to go to a place that's open till 7. It's called Igloo. And I think Igloo is neat because they have the fruit drink. What three fruit juices was it? It was like lemon, pineapple, and what else? Or is lemon, pineapple, and orange juices mixed together. And it's like
an orange Julius if you ever went to Dairy Queen, but just like a little bit sweeter.
Just imagine one of those, but better.
Yeah.
And it's like their signature drink. When you get it, it comes with a coffee stir straw, so you can control the flow of it, so it lasts longer, which is really neat.
By the
honestly.
way, we also went for Blue Moon ice cream, and Wikipedia is wrong. There is no Blue Moon ice cream in that one part of New York that is mentioned there. There's a citation needed next to it. They know it's fake.
Someone put that in because they saw it once.
Yeah.
But I maintain that I wanted to get you Blue Moon ice cream there, but they were out of that and chocolate. So it was like, fuck. Well, and it's like Blue Moon just tastes like blue. It's a nondescript flavor, so it just tastes like blue. It is very good, though. I really recommend it.
I will have to try it someday if I'm ever back in town.
Yeah, and
also, they had BlendTech blenders.
Oh, yeah.
They could blend iPads if they wanted to. That's for my favorite YouTube show, Will It Blend, ages and ages ago. They still make videos, believe it or not. It was a thing. It was a big meme back then.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I just didn't realize it was because they were advertising their blenders.
Yeah.
You hit me with that, and I was like, oh my god, it was all an ad campaign. Shit.
You've been had.
Yet another meme added to the zeitgeist solely because of capitalism. God damn it. That's that.
This episode of the Reddmasq Podcast brought to you by BlendTech.
Blot to you by Blended Black. And I think what's funny is that this whole trip that we went on, every time we woke up and it was like, we need to get breakfast. And it's like, we looked at the time, it's like, everywhere that serves breakfast is no longer serving breakfast. So we have to go to a 24/7 place.
This is the kind of quality, upstanding people you're dealing with, folks.
Like, look, we woke up at, we got up at like 11:30. That's still the morning.
10, come on.
Well, you wake up at 10. I was still out cold. The problem with me is my medication knocks me the fuck out for an extended period of time.
Speaking of dying, you almost died the last day I was with you.
Oh, yeah, because you dropped... Yeah, let's talk about that really fast. Because on your way back from St. Louis, you made the decision that you were going to leave your stuff here, most of your stuff here, because you would drop by. So instead of having to drive from St. Louis to New York all in one go, you would just stop by our place, stay the night, wake up and leave and go drive back to New York, and you'd grab your stuff that you left behind. We had like a little bonus time together where we played more games. We played P-Cross.
Yeah, we played Picross, and I remembered how to play Picross, basically.
Yeah, I can finally understand the timeline of how it happened. So
let's get the continuity. If we have any doctors in the audience, feel free to chime in, because...
The only thing I could find that accurately explained what I was experiencing is called a hemiplegic migraine. So, hemiplegic migraine. That's hemiplegic is HEMIPLEGIC. And actually, hemiplegia is actually a term that's for paralysis of one side of the body. So a hemiplegic migraine, as it turns out, I'm going to explain how it happened to me. So to start with, I'm playing Eidolon on my computer, which is a MMORPG idle game that's like similar in style to MapleStory. I would recommend it. It's got one dev, and it definitely has that feeling to it sometimes where it's like, wow, I can't believe that's a thing that happens in this game. God damn it. Like, it's a moment with that guy where it's just like, if you do things improperly, oops, there goes that thing you wanted. And it's weird. It's fine enough. It's a fair enough game. Okay, but I was playing that, and I was having like, when you stare at like a bright light and you look away and your eyes have that spot still like blinded effectively. Like, you look at a bright light, you look away, and it's like there's like a little spot that's like in your eyes for a little bit as it recovers.
Mm-hmm.
I was having that while I was playing Island. Like there were just spots in my eyes I couldn't see because it felt like I had looked at a light. It's like, did I look at a light when I was waking up from my bed? Like, what happened? And then I started developing a headache. And then, so like in the middle of that, I'm like, okay, I got to get up and get some fucking Tylenol for my headache. So I do that and I sit back down. My left hand starts to get like that tingling numbness for when your arm is falling asleep. Like when your leg is falling, yeah, you get like that tingling numbness where it's like it's falling asleep, right? So it's only in my thumb, my index finger, my middle finger. And I'm like, what is this feeling? And then I'm like, oh my God, my hand is going numb. And it's like, oh, maybe it feels like it's falling asleep. Maybe I just gotta shake it a little bit. That didn't do shit. So like a little bit of alarm bell is going off there, and my numbness is traveling through up my arm technically, where like it started in my index, middle, and thumb. It moved to the rest of my hand and my fingers, but then like the stuff that was numb before regained feeling while the rest imagine instead of numbness spreading, it travels. Imagine.
You give me a good scare with that whole thing. It's like,
yeah,
now I gotta give you like hand stretching exercises that I used to do. Yeah. And like now I have to figure out like what's going on.
We went to my younger brother. We were double checking I wasn't having a stroke, making sure hoping I didn't have carpal tunnel. But it was like, imagine just like the numbness was traveling through my fingers and then it started going up my arm. And it just stopped there. Like it stopped on my elbow. And also the left side of my tongue went numb for like a minute. It was weird. It was fucking weird. But after the numbness like went away, I was just left with a goddamn migraine. So we just turned in for the night there. Mm-hmm. And it was like when I woke up the next morning, I was like all the symptoms were gone. I was just left with, like the leftover migraine where it's like if I move too fast, my head like reacts. It's like headache. Oh, you're moving too fast. So that's just a migraine typical thing.
Yeah, that's more normal than your whole mouth going numb, as well as your hand.
Like, it was not my whole mouth. It was just like the left bit of my tongue. But it was still weird,
bizarre, and freaky.
But like it helps that it was actually a migraine because it's like it had the typical migraine symptoms, but also numbness traveling through my left arm. What? And like what sucked was while this was happening, I was like on Google looking up specifically numbness. Like every search engine sucked for this. Like numbness traveling up my arm. And it just like started giving me, and every time everything was just saying, here's where can normally cause numbness, a pinched nerve. And it's like, okay, great. I specifically looked up traveling up my arm. Why the fuck did you not take that into any account when you were looking this shit up? You just took the numbness and ran with it. I was looking for something very specific about the numbness going up my arm and just
Redd, while you were doing that, I got a search going on Ecosia. The second result from WebMD is hemiplegic migraine from it.
Traveling up, because I didn't look up migraine. I think that was the problem. I thought like I was just having a headache and also this was happening. And then eventually I was like, this headache's not going away and it's very specific. Ah shit, it's a migraine. Right. I don't have migraines enough to notice when it's a migraine. It just feels like a headache until it's like, oh wait, no, this is a little bit too. Hopefully, you never have to deal with a hemiplegic migraine in your life because, damn, weird.
This is also just good awareness for our listeners as well, just to like get some help if they know the signs of something like this happening to them.
If this happens to you, let it be known that it is an actual thing that is known about.
You won't die from it. But seriously, we are not doctors. We cannot diagnose this stuff. You should probably ask your real doctor what's going on. You know your body better than us. Thank you for listening to this episode. We are hosted on mask31.dev/the-Reddmasq-podcast. You can also find us on Pocket Casts and wherever great podcasts are found.